I've spent my life kind of focused going to places no one's snowboarded before. And I think at the heart of big mountain riding, that is a very important point to it. Always breaking new ground. It's funny, I used to not be super concerned with, say, riding first descents, but over time I've realized that does represent that you are definitively breaking new ground. When you are riding a mountain that's never been ridden before, there's no denying you're going where no one has ever gone before. And so new lines is a big part of that. It's really interesting when you go into this unridden, untraveled part of the planet. It's just, to be the first person in there, it has a different energy. There's all this kind of hoodoo around it, meaning like it's just the difference between being the second person to ride something and the first person is significant, because there's all this unknown and there's all this like, God, is this a good idea or a bad idea? Should I not be doing this? And it's one of those things, like, if you do make a mistake and you don't come home, it's like, God, why would you ever even think about riding that line? But if you go and you ideally have this successful descent where you're able to ride the mountain clean and beautifully, then next thing you know, people are lined up to go and hit that line after you. So the first is always takes significantly more mental fortitude. Climbing these mountains under your own power and not using machines, you have a stronger connection to the mountain. It's much more important to have that stronger connection. There is, instead of, say, being on this hazardous slope for a couple minutes riding down, now you're on the slope for hours on end. So being really locked into the mountains is important, and it is amazing. The really serious lines I like to camp right in front of and just learn the moods, understand every little bit of breath of wind that hits that mountain, or exactly how much snow falls in these storms, and it's just made this much stronger connection to the mountains. So tech continues to play a key role in both equipment, the snowboards that we're riding, specifically these split boards, which have been around for a while but were stagnant for probably 15 years, and then there's been, from everything from bindings to skins to poles to snowboards, this huge progression the last probably 8 years. So the equipment's better, the boots are better, bindings better, boards are better. And then also we're seeing a much welcoming innovation on the backcountry front, where, or the snow science front, I should say, where there's been more tools on how to read the snowpack. There's more people out there documenting what they're seeing. So it's kind of on all fronts. We have more tech and innovation to help us make better decisions out there. But still at the root of it is to get connected with the mountains, listen to what they're telling you, and wait for that right moment, and go and do what we're trying to do and come home. Yeah, it's going into the mountains, especially unknown places. You really have to have a fluid mind, meaning not stuck on this one way to do something. Just really open to the situation and the ability to be able to make adjustments as you go. And so I guess for me it's tough to say that things have gone wrong and I solved this stuff, because I always go out there with this very broad deal of like, this is a maybe, like we're gonna start moving towards this goal, and if all this stuff lines up, we might achieve our goal of riding this mountain. And if it doesn't line up, we're totally at peace with that. It's a really special feeling because that feeling of dropping into this beautiful pristine line it's tough to explain, and it's kind of this culmination of so much time and thought and energy just to get to that point. And then when I'm strapped in and it's time to drop in, I really just try and let go and just kind of let my snowboard take me for a ride. There's the tactical side of like my exit's over here and I'm starting here, but the more I can kind of let go and just become present and just let the moment take me, that's the more I get out of it. It's really important to note I consider myself just one of many moving the ball a little bit forward from past generations, and I continue to always look to the generation in front of me and the elders and learn from them. And I guess looking back, and if I could tell myself one thing, it's tough because I'm very, you need all those hard lessons and everything. And so I'm pretty fortunate to be here now, exactly where I am now today, and you kind of can't get there without those highs and lows. But it definitely goes, just really taking care of my body is critical, because this is not something, people ask me like, so what are you going to do when you're done being a pro? And it's like, I'm going to go snowboard. There's never been this like end game of like, let's put it all on the line and beat up your body and be a pro as long as possible, and then you can retire. For me, there's a time when I won't be getting a paycheck to snowboard, but that will not change my going out and snowboarding on a daily basis. Yeah, I don't know. There's just it's a really, these, like going about the act of climbing these mountains and interacting with them and figuring out where you can go and can't, and then getting on the top and having it all boil down to this one moment. There's a lot of doubt at night and the morning getting out of your tent and stuff, but we get more, or for me, there is that feeling of when I go to drop in, it's like, I got this. This is like, I am 100% locked in on, like, this is not a maybe. This is not a, I hope this goes well. This is like, I'm going to drop in and drill this line right now and just try and let go and get the most out of that small precious moment when we do get to ride down.
Question number 1, Mac or PC?
Mac.
All right, Qdoba or Chipotle?
Ooh, Chipotle.
How many pennies would fit in this room?
1 trillion. No?
Right.
No? Do you know the answer?
I have no idea. All right, who would win in a fight, Batman or Spider-Man?
Batman or Spider-Man? I'm going to go Spider-Man.
All right, what's your number 1 bucket list item?
God, my number 1 bucket list item. I think Africa is calling.
All right, awesome. All right, thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Hey, Alex, what do you think? Should people subscribe to Innovation in Tech Today?
No.
What was that again, Alex?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.